The Lusty Argonian Maid. Look, before we get into it, I will preface this book review with an important statement on race in Tamriel. All races in the mortal plane are equally inferior to the Dunmer, but not Argonians. Argonians are not a race at all. They are merely animals who have somehow scraped together enough primitive intelligence to form a cult around trees or some shit. And don't even get me started on Khajiit. But my preconceived notions of racial supremacy aside, this book is chock full of problems. Not least the book's Enwa author, Crassius Curio, councilman of the great house Hlalu. Mr. Curio is lucky to have published this garbage in the Third Era, because had he tried to bring this heap of kinky dung to the printing press in the Fourth Era, he'd be cancelled quicker than a Blades agent in the Aldmeri Dominion. But I'd personally consider his cancellation in particular to be a net benefit for Tamrielic society as a whole. Uncle Crassius is very much the Harvey Weinstein of Morrowind's entertainment industry. He's likely had his Dagoth in places and things that would have Molag Bal himself recoiling in disgust. Yes, I know, Daddy D, you must remember to separate the art from the artist. But I'm not enough of a skooma-head to consider this sexually depraved shit art, nor its author and artist. It's just self-insert, no pun intended, literary porn. The character of Crantius Colto is just Uncle Crassius with a different name. Crass was so distracted by his rock-hard Dagoth that he couldn't even be bothered to change his fictional counterpart's initials. And in terms of plot, there is nothing to be found. There is no rising action, only rising Dagoths. And the total absence of other volumes to this poor excuse for a porno play is further evidence for Curio's ineptitude as an author. I'm not one to kink shame. If you get off on books, that's fine. But don't try and tell me there's any real story to be read in this pile of stuck-together pages. There are two characters, Crassius Curio's self-insert avatar, and his Argonian slave lifts her tail. At least I think she's his slave. If the story was set in Morrowind, she would be. But that's the thing. We have no goddamned idea where the story is set, because plot is not even a tertiary concern for the author. And by the penile veins of Nerevar, how about this poor Argonian lass's name? Lifts her tail. I may not be Tamriel's greatest champion of Argonian rights, hippity-hoppity lizards are property and all that. But I'd at least have the common decency to show my fictional female characters some respect. This poor lady lizard was created solely for the satisfaction of creepy Uncle Crassius and his Enwa desires, and it sickens me. This is fucking unmannerly. I'm pitching this book into the volcano. Somebody stop this Curio before he hurts someone.